I asked 4 7-figure agency owners their keys to success. And honestly, this is something that I wish that I had when I was first starting, the ability to get some of the insight that I was able to get from the agency owners. And the funny thing is I asked them the same 3 questions and there was a lot of consistencies as it pertains to the answers that I got. First question that I asked them was, what is the key to getting from $0 to $10,000 per month?
Sales and marketing, but that's it. You've got a lot of time and all you have to do is close a couple clients and sell. I was putting out an aggressive offer, like whatever I could do to make that marketing sound, trying to get in front of as many people. I tried a bunch of different things to do so. That's where I finally hit the 10K a month mark.
I think the first thing is probably choosing the people that you surround yourself around really well. And I think that's first comes from having something unique and special to offer. We hit like 40 grand a month in my first month. And what I would say though, the reason that happened was because I had a very specific process and a unique process that allowed to provide results different from other people.
That first 10K per month is really playing, testing your offers, trying different things. I wish a lot of people would take more time and actually kind of play with different offers or offer different services. When we first got started with the agency, we did a lot of free work. Chances are if you haven't generated your first 10K yet, you probably haven't delivered many results for clients yet. And so you kind of have to prove out the concepts of what your offer is. And sometimes that means working for free and doing like a free 30-day, 90-day trial. Sometimes we would do that and just trying to get traction with something, proving out a result and using those initial results to build your first case studies. Once you have your first case studies, then you can start telling people, hey, this is a system that's proven to work if we follow these frameworks.
And so I think to get to the 10K, it just comes down to a numbers game. It's like, okay, well, if I want to get 10K, what am I selling? So let's say you're not very good at it, right? Let's say your videos are awful. Okay, maybe you charge $100 for a video. And then if you get better, you can increase your pricing. So it's now just a numbers game. So if you're not DMing people, if you're not talking to your close family and friends and saying, hey, this is what I do now, what can I do? If you're not showing up to events, if you're not offering free services first, that's one of the first things I did. So you're building your book of business. And if you do that really well, then what starts to happen is you have a big enough book of business, then you can enter into that next phase, which is usually like 50,000.
And to me, I couldn't agree more with what I was hearing from these answers as it pertains to your main focus at $0 to $10,000 is sales and focusing on talking to more people and getting the opportunity to sell. And the second question, naturally, I wanted to know, okay, what's the key to get from $10,000 to $50,000 a month?
If I did it again, I would push my time up as much as I can without taking the foot off the gas with sales. And then when I'm like fully busy, plug in whatever is the easiest thing to delegate. And then it was just like spend more money, do more outreach, close more deals, and start building the process for delivering a service.
I think this is the point to where you really probably are going to hire 1 to 2 people, finding like those 1 or 2 grunt people that are just really rolling up their sleeves. Holistically though, to continue growing, and where I see most people lacking is that when you do not have case studies or reputations to speak for you, you have to be loud as hell on social media. Talk about what you see problems in other content pieces, review video pieces constantly. The whole concept was you had to do it for 90 days straight before you really felt momentum come in. And it is weird, but it's almost to the dot. Around that day 90, you just start seeing natural momentum of people reaching out to you.
Think of it as like a plate of food, right? So in the beginning, you want to load up your plate as much as possible. You might have some things filling off your plate, but then now it's too packed. So for you to get to that next level, you obviously know how much money you're making. If you realize, well, max out, Jared can only make, let's say, $30,000 a month, I should say, right? It's like, okay, well, how do I get to 50? Well, then you need to supplement your time with somebody else who does the work for you. You have to unlearn what you did in the very beginning and start to become a leader and start to hire the right people, which is a whole different skill set. So it's like you have to build the person to get there first. You have to take action on these things, and then you'll fail, and then you'll learn, and you'll fail, and you'll learn. They shouldn't be focused on 50,000 in the beginning. They should be focusing on 10,000 and perfecting that. Then when they have that extra money, go hire a person like you who has been there, and then just have you undo all the bad habits that they have and say, look, you did great over here. Good job. Here's your roses. Now we're doing this over here. And so that's really the steps I would say. So really 50,000 is also the mentorship.
Really, it's standing up some sort of lead generation system. So chances are if you're at like 10K, 15K, 20K per month, it's usually not by accident. Normally you have a system with some proven results behind it. With that being said, you just have to pick whatever lead gen method that you really want to start running with. The other pillar that I like to start talking about is collecting what I call like an owned list. This is where I like to start building trainings, resources to start putting out into the marketplace. You can run this on paid ads, or you can just post it organically to start collecting what we call like opt-ins. That's what we call like a marketing qualified lead. A marketing qualified lead has no intent from buying from you, but it does enter them into our ecosystem to where we can nurture them. Only way that we can do that is to start to create a presence around our brand. So if you can come in, one, as a market leader, build trust through nurturing them by giving them free information. If you're the person that helps them achieve that goal, guess who they're going to come to when they really need the service that you're offering? They're going to come to you every single time.
Some of the biggest takeaways here had to be around building a team, focusing on just continuing to hit sales. Your goal is still to build and be in building phase. And at that point, you're probably going to need some people to help you out as well. All right. And then even to scale, like I wanted to know, okay, what is the key to getting from $50,000 to $100,000? And I wanted to ask these experts because they've all done it. And to me, while the agencies were different, the answers were pretty spot on.
For us, we tried to grow too fast. I tried to just add more and more people was how I did it. And it was inflated, but there was no systems and processes for those people to work. And so we just fell flat on our face a couple times until we really stepped it up. I think 50 to 100 is get out of ops as quickly as you can, more systems, more processes. But once again, like you still got to have your foot on the gas there. And most of the time getting to 100, like usually it's the founder still selling, probably even handling most of the marketing.
At that point, around 100 is probably going to be team and management. How do you ensure quality continues? It's one thing to get to 100 grand a month. It's another thing to be able to consistently do it. Even then though, your focus as the owner is still sales. And so I think that's why really at that point, it's having those 2 or 3 loyal, incredible staff members that it can empower and know how to try to figure out the quality assurance side. I think would be really, really important.
I think the clarity of where am I actually going and what do I actually want to build is where the next phase comes into. And so for example, me, I don't do anything on the operations side because we do have these big money goals, but I hate when people say, I want to make $1 million and there's no purpose behind it. So what I do, I am religious. God is the forefront of everything. So I say God is the real CEO. And so what I do is when a wire comes in, a wire goes out to a better cause. And so I'm now going and making more money, not because Jared needs more money or more things. I'm making more money because I see the impact that we do in Africa when we give wells. And we don't just give people fish for a day. We actually show them and do different things, right? So the impact for me is like, guys, we got to go out and get $100,000 because we have this bigger cause.
I'm trying at 50K. This was very specifically for me of I'm going to try and remove myself from the fulfillment of the day-to-day. Try to work on more of like what we consider like the high leverage activities. That's kind of what I look at when it's like 50K business is how can I get myself more time to start working on revenue generating. When you remove yourself, you still have to train your team. Okay, just because you delegate doesn't mean you can fall out of leadership. But that's what I'm looking to do right at that 50K mark because it's going to give me the bandwidth as the visionary to go in and push on growth activities versus just working on, stabilizing the business or keeping clients or fulfilling for clients. I'm going to try and shift that mindset of fulfillment to growth.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And for more content like this going forward, be sure to subscribe